Thanks for listening to the AZ12 podcast. I'm your host, Mike Luke, back by popular demand, the great Matt Rain. Hello, Matt Rain. How are you doing today, my friend?
What's up, Mike? I'm doing well. I'm ready for tomorrow, ready to bear down, ready to back the A and get this win against Duke.
Yes. We're going to talk about that a lot. And unlike some folks, we actually know that Arizona is playing in the Sweet 16, so we will be previewing Arizona in the Sweet 16.
We will. Yeah, I wonder who you're referring to.
Yeah, no clue. None whatsoever. All right, Matt, before we get into all the breakdowns and the nitty-gritty and everything, everybody remembers the Derek Williams game from, one of the most iconic I'm just saying this. It was in the Sweet 16. The point spread was within a point of what it is now. Do you see any similarities, Mr. Rain?
I see a lot of similarities. I think that team, I think the difference between that team was very young. But look, very early on in Sean Miller's Arizona coaching career, early on in Tommy Lloyd's coaching career here at Arizona, Kyrie was just coming back. I know Cooper Flagg looks like the Cooper Flagg that we all know and don't love, but I do see some similarities, and watch out. You never know what happens in March. And I think Arizona can surprise some folks.
Mike is a little late. He's upset about St. On going to St. John's. No, I'm going to laugh at that one, though. That will be funny. All right, we're going to go position by position here. But first, Matt, what is your biggest fear? Like, is there any individual? What is your biggest fear about Duke in this game that Arizona needs to take care of?
Man, it's just their collective talent, and especially on the defensive end. I think when Arizona gets stuck in the half court, and especially against a team like Duke who can defend you so well and prevent you from driving into the lane, our offense can get stagnant. So it's really important that we get out and transition. And then the other thing, Mike, you touched on it yesterday, it's the three-point shooting. Tyrese Proctor goes 7 for 8 against Baylor.
Right.
I watched that the game again against Duke back in November at McHale. Tyrese Proctor had a couple big threes.
Right.
Can't happen. So those are my two biggest concerns, but we'll see.
All right, now position by position, Jaden Bradley and Tyrese Proctor. Now you could say, maybe Proctor goes on Love, maybe James goes on Jaden Bradley. This is a game though where Jaden's got to play well. And, again, I don't need Jaden to be an All-American or anything like that, but I do need Jaden to play well in this game. Listen, Proctor, don't give him wide open threes. Don't give him any, because again, he's going to make those. And this is one of those things. If you tempt people with open threes that are good 3-point shooters, they're probably going to make some of those. So that's a big part of this. And Jaden, I got to have Jaden play well offensively as well.
Yeah, you have to. And Mike, he showed up in big games, though. We know this. We saw it last year in the tournament. We've seen it this year. And even in the Duke game, he was our best player, consistently driving to the lane. And I think for JB, there's a big opportunity, especially if someone like Proctor is guarding him, to be able to drive to the lane and be aggressive. And we need him to be aggressive in this game. We'll get to the importance of Caleb Love and why, I don't think he needs to score 35 for Arizona to win. But, if JB is able to drive, to distribute, that's all you can ask for him, and limiting the turnovers, that'd be great.
You know what Jaden Bradley did really well earlier in the season? He did it throughout. He was a great run stopper. That when it seemed like teams would go on 8-0 runs, 10-0 runs, somehow he would just get a wide open layup by just like running down the court and getting an easy bucket. That's the kind of stuff that I think you're going to need, because listen, Duke's going to go on some runs. There's no doubt about it. You don't have an offense. You don't have that kind of firepower without having moments where you're going to be hit with a 9-2 run. I almost said 100-3 run. Hopefully that doesn't happen.
Hopefully not. Yeah.
Yes, that would be very difficult to come back from. But they're going to get you with some runs. I think it's for Arizona. You've got to be able to stymie those, and you've got to be able to have somebody that does that. And JB's done a pretty good job of that pretty much all season. I'd like to see that continue in this game.
Yeah, I agree. It always seems like he has been a calming presence for this team. And listen, for people that don't know college basketball, how hard it is to be a point guard, but not only how hard it is to be a point guard, but to transition to being a full-time point guard while in college at a high major level, that is almost impossible to do. And it's something that Tommy has asked Jaden to do this year, and he has exceeded my expectations. Really, really an incredible job by Jaden. But you're right. Whenever Arizona needs a bucket, he seems to be the guy that can get downhill and get them a bucket and be the calming presence in the game. Because, look, the reality is that, Con Knippel is going to hit a couple threes. Cooper Flagg is going to hit probably a stupid step-back three. It's going to happen. So JB will be that guy to calm us down.
All right, now Caleb Love. Listen, I agree with you entirely. I don't need Caleb Love scoring 35 points in this game. He's going to have to be in the 20s, though, and he's going to have to be. I mean, he's going to have to make big shots. The thing about Caleb Love against Oregon, forget that he had the 28 points or the 29, whatever it was. It's that it's kind of like we were talking about Jaden Bradley. How many big 3-pointers did he hit, Matt? How many times when he would get in a pick and roll, would he be able to dish it off to somebody for an easy dunk? He just made winning play after winning play throughout that game. And I think that's what was so impressive about Caleb's performance.
It was so impressive, Mike. And I think there was 1 3 that he took that I was like, I don't know, but he made it.
Right.
You just got to live with it. But all of his shots that he took, the decisions he made were in control. And I think one of the most frustrating media narratives that I continue to hear about Caleb Love is that, he takes these wild shots and he takes teams out of games. And, I think earlier in his career, that is true. But this year, especially as of late, the latter half of the season, since Arizona started 4-5, that's not been the case. He's taken good shots. He has distributed the ball well, and he'll need to do that again. But, I think the notion that, from I heard some guy on CBS say this earlier today, Caleb Love has to score 35 points. No, he doesn't. He has to hit the ball. He has to play well. He has to hit some timely threes. He doesn't need to be everything for this Arizona team to win.
Yeah, like Sheer said, I mean, Arizona's kind of playing with house money at this point. Not a lot of people expect, Arizona to win this game, is evidenced by that scoring, by the point spread. The other thing with Caleb Love too, I can always tell if somebody is, as your generation would say, casual when it comes to when it comes to Caleb Love. When they say something like, he's a team killer, he's this and that. All right, at North Carolina, they made a Final Four. He was the one that made the game-winning shot and scored 28 points to send them into the championship game. And I don't know if anybody's noticed, but North Carolina hasn't exactly been better without Caleb Love, while Arizona has certainly been better because of Caleb Love. It's just such a stupid, tired narrative that gets very, very annoying.
It really is, and I think he's proven to be such a level-headed, humble guy, and like, whatever the media narratives were when he was at North Carolina, they are what they are, but he's kept his head on his shoulders here at Arizona. And I think what he said in that post game, he gave a very reflective answer. He said, look, we'll be ready. And I fully believe him. I fully believe the team will be ready. We'll see what happens when it comes down to Thursday, but we'll go from there.
Andy Bryant says, did you see Tyler Hansbrough stating if Love does, he needs both the U of A and UNC jerseys retired at Chapel Hill? I agree with it, man. That's going to be something it's going to be something interesting. Dan, we're going to get into that in a second, but first we got to pay a few bills though. First, got to pay some bills. All right. Longview Insurance and Investments. Now, I don't know, Cody, what are you doing back there? Pull up Longview Insurance and Investments. Cody just gave birth, so he didn't just give birth. All right. Either way, Longview Insurance and Investments. They paid for our whole way out to Seattle. They're paying for Sheer out to Newark. I'm not feeling the greatest, so I didn't want to go. But either way, Longview Insurance and Investments, very good. Tailored retirement income strategies, distinctive wealth management solutions. Now, again, Matt, we can't endorse Longview, but we can highly recommend. People that come up to me and they're like, Mike, will you endorse it? Not going to do it. I will not do it, but guess what? I will endorse them. Longview Insurance and Investments. Andre Veras, he is the man. Very much appreciate Andre. Also, Matt, have you ever been to Baggins?
Love Baggins. I love Baggins. I'm in DC now, Mike, as you know, and when I was in Tucson, Baggins, one of my top 3 spots in town. Absolutely.
And if you ever come back, visit the mom or bring the missus back to Tucson or something. Use code AZ12 for 15% off. Will you swear upon the eyes of your future children that you will do this?
Absolutely. AZ12. You gotta get the discount.
AZ12 for life, man. It makes me look better. And guess what, Matt? You get a chocolate chip cookie on top of that. Very tasty.
Really?
Very tasty. You deserve that, my friend. You deserve that. That's an inside joke right there. Either way, check it out, Baggins. Very, very good. Yes. All right. Do we know who the officials are today? Or hopefully it's not Tony Padilla, but you know what's funny about Tony Padilla? If you ever know an official's name as a fan, you know that official sucks. Nobody's like, man, that guy's just awesome. You don't get any of that with Tony Padilla.
That is not true, Mike.
Be the celebs, and you can't have that.
What's that?
That is not true, Mike.
Who?
Mike Reed is a wonderful official, And I know his name.
Yeah. Again, that's another case for my example right there, Cody. Right there. All right. So let's talk a little bit before we get back into the matchups. Fouling. This team is one of the things that is one of these things is kind of giveth or taketh. Is this team is filled with hackers. This team is. I mean, it just is. Hey, Cody, you can take this down, by the way. As much as we love Baggins, this team is filled with hackers. Carter is a hacker. Carter is good for 2 to 3 odd hacks per game. Hold on. Yeah, Carter's good for 2 to 3 hacks per game. Also, KJ's generally good for a couple of hacks per game. It's a hacker team. You can't have hackers in this game. You've got to be able to have all hands on deck. You got to have that in this game. No stupid fouls.
Yeah, no stupid fouls. It's going to be really interesting to see how they ref this game. I think it benefits Arizona if they let guys be physical. I think Caleb even said in an interview yesterday, look,
right.
we got to be the more physical team. And he's absolutely right. But you're right. There's a line where Tobe, I love him, but he'll pick up just a ridiculous over the back foul. Just stay away, man. And I think Tommy, you love the effort.
Right.
And then Mike, it's the balance between, if you're guarding Cooper Flagg, you want to be aggressive. You want to get up on him, but you just can't foul. And that's the worry. You talked about it yesterday with Carter Bryant. If he picks up a couple quick ones, that really limits Arizona's depth.
All right, now let's get back to it. ADO and Con Knipple. I love ADO's. Listen, we got to give ADO a lot of flowers. Those were massive. Those free throws will live in U of A lore. I see no way in which he can guard Con Knipple in this game. I think KJ Lewis is going to have to be in early, Matt.
Yeah.
And not before it's 21-4.
Yeah, look, ADO was so clutch. You're right. You got to give him his flowers. Ice in his veins with those free throws, hit a couple big threes. We're going to need him in this game to hit a couple threes, like 100%. We're going to find him spots. But Duke is going to target ADO. They're going to target Trey when they're in the game. We saw that already in the first matchup. I watched a film of that first game against Duke. And when ADO was on Knipple, man, they just put him in ball screens, and they were able to get some really clean open looks because ADO just can't fight through screens from Malawach.
Or strong or quick enough. It just is what it is.
Yeah, it just is what it is. So, with Knipple, you got to try to limit him as much as possible. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I think Caleb will probably be guarding him, but we'll see. I don't know. It'll be tough.
We do agree, though, that you can't wait for it to be 21-4 to call a timeout or hopefully get to the under 16. That will not work against Duke.
No, Tommy loves to let it ride, and it stresses me out so much. And I think it's tough too because it's the same conversation related to not putting in Tobe for Vasar in the second half. We're sitting there as fans being like, "What are you doing? What is going on?" I obviously Tommy knows way more than we'll ever know about basketball and his team.
Does, but that doesn't mean we can't critique.
Exactly, doesn't mean we can't critique. If ADO's in the game, he's getting abused and bullied. You got to take him out and. You got to ride with the guys. If they're tired, they're tired, but you can't let yourself be exploited on defense to the extent that ADO, unfortunately, can be exploited.
Sheer just says, should I call him Nipple when I ask a question? Yes, call him K-Nip or call him K-Nip. I think you should call him K-Nip. Yeah. Okay, now
little girth.
Yeah, little girth and big gas. Okay, so Cooper Flagg. This is obviously, it's funny. I get all these people that ask me these questions are like, yeah, well, who's going to guard Cooper Flagg? Well, you could say that about anybody all season long. There's nobody that can guard Cooper Flagg. He's a generational talent. He's 6'9", 6'10". But I'm going to ask you this, Matt. I would assume that they're going to have Trey Townsend on him early. I would assume they will have him off of him early as well. What say you?
Yeah, no. There's no way you can have Trey on Cooper. And I think even Tommy recognized that in the first game. The first matchup that Tommy used against Cooper Flagg in that first game was KJ Lewis.
Yeah.
I could totally see that happening again now if KJ's not starting.
Right.
But
do you put ADO on Flagg?
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Now, can you imagine throwing ADO on
ADO just locks up. ADO locks up Cooper. He has like 2 points. Yeah. No, that would be something. I think Carter, as I discussed, is going to have to be his primary defender. But, I think on Twitter, Tyler Warden, who I know is a friend of the show, had a great point. He said, look, at the end of the day, Cooper's going to get his points, and that's fine. You cannot let the other guys beat you.
Yes.
You cannot let Tyrese Proctor go off for 7 threes. You cannot let Knipple get in the lane and distribute to Malawach. And easier said than done. Right. But if Carter is able to do his best, that's good with me. And same with Kate.
Yeah, and that's where I also can't. I can't have Carter get into foul trouble. Yes, Mr. We can't have him get into foul trouble because, again, Carter's another one. I love Carter like we always talk about. I would really like to get him back for a second here. But but he's like that young fawn in the fields that's just like you can tell how
doe. It was Fran Fraschilla call him a doe.
A doe, yeah, a doe. But he's like that though. But then he'll do something where he just slaps the heck out of somebody, and he'll do it like right in front of the official, and then he's like, "What, me? Yes, you."
Or the goaltending, right? And I think that's just part of him being a young player and figuring things out and going just on pure instinct, which is understandable. But you got to let him do. And look, if I'm Tommy, I'm telling Carter this. I'm saying, listen, man, you're going to be matched up with the number 1 pick in the draft. Show them what you got, right? Prove to yourself, prove to this team, prove to the world for all it's worth that you can compete with the number 1 pick in the draft and future NBA All-Star.
Yeah, I mean, take it as a challenge because Carter's the only one, let's be honest. Carter's the only one with the length, size, and, to be able to do something here. I also think Carter's got to play more because Duke has this size advantage over Arizona. And Carter's a very good, when he's not goaltending, he's a very good weak side shot blocker. Carter brings a lot to the equation here. And like I said, I got to have him play 25, 28 minutes like he did last game. He's got to play, period, point blank.
He has to. If he stays out of foul trouble, play him 30.
Yes. I mean seriously, agreed.
Yeah, you have to. And especially against Duke. Trey, I'm sorry. I mean, it's got to be like single-digit minutes. It's got to be like 5. And like, again, there's nothing against the guy, but against a team like Duke, the size that they have, he's undersized, undermanned, and I would love for him to go off for 15, but it's not going to happen.
Yeah, yes. And, there's a time and a place for Trey, and I think we have to give Trey a March award for being very, very good. But there's also a time and a place for Trey, and I just don't see that being in this game. Now, I want to talk about the front court with, hey, how is it pronounced? Is it pronounced Maluwach or Maluwach?
I think it's Maluwach.
Yeah, all right, well, we're going to go with Maluwach then. Right. Yeah. Don't at me, as the kids would say, at Matt Rain. But at first, though, all right, you might see. All right, Cody, are you there? Are you back? Cody's still giving birth, I think. Cody, where are you at? All right, Arizona Primary Eye Care, my friend. Now, look at these. Matt Rain, do you know about what kind of glasses are those, Matt Rain?
That's a great question. I think they are Costco because I got them out here. But, Mike, as I told you last time, when I was in Tucson, I went to Arizona Primary Eye Care. They also have a location at U of A.
Yes,
so
yes.
They're great, very convenient.
Hey, by the way, look at this. Look at these. These are Tom Fords, my friend. Tom Fords. Nice. These things are very expensive. I own nothing fancy or expensive except these, and that's because I went to Arizona Primary Eye Care. 60+ insurance is accepted. AccuView now offering $400 towards contacts. $150 for disposables. Optical solutions for all budgets. And again, proud partner of Arizona Athletics. They back the A. Cheryl is awesome. You need to get in there. And again, they got 4 locations. You know they got one in Douglas, Matt Rain?
That's pretty cool. Good for them.
Exactly. Now, again, get them in there. Make us look good. Go in there. Boom. Get in there. Check them out. All right. Now, welcome to the Rock. Green Valley Decorative Rock, Sean Carter. Hey, do you know about this terrible rumor going around about Green Valley Decorative Rock? Has this reached your neck of the woods?
I don't. Tell me about it.
All right. There is a rumor going around that they are only in Green Valley. Can you believe this?
I don't. But I heard something different, though. They have another location.
They do. And it's in Tucson. It's in Tucson, my friends. Yes. And guess what? Not only is it in Tucson, they deliver north to Oracle, west to Marana, east to Sierra Vista Benson, south to Nogales. And guess what? If you want to buy a ton of their stuff, they're going to probably ship it out to you. Now, again, if you're like out of state or if you're in like Newark, you're going to probably have to pay more for it. But either way, they got turf, they got rock, and they're in Tucson. Green Valley Decorative Rock. Back the rock. Rock, 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 rock. Okay, now, let's get to, Matt Rain is a natural. Matt Rain, definitely a natural. Yes. When he's president, we will credit this podcast with launching his campaign.
I'll make sure to distribute all the NIL money to.
Yes, exactly. Yes. Okay. Yeah. All right, up front. When I was watching Maluwach, have we decided are we going with Maluwach?
I think so. That's what I remember. But
yeah, don't at me. All right, so I'm going with Maluwach. I was at the Arizona Duke game and watching that guy. Yeah, everybody hit the like button. We got 170 people and only 27 likes. Hit the like. That dude is a monster. Now, he is huge. Like, they have him listed at 7'2". He looks every bit of 7'2". I'm a little surprised he's not viewed as a better NBA draft or an MNBA draft prospect, but he's a problem. Defensively, he's a guy that you would love to get into foul trouble early because they don't have anybody else like him. I would love to get him into foul trouble.
Yeah, I think you got to attack the rim as much as possible early on to try to get some quick fouls on him. He just sucks people into the lane like no one's business. And he's one of the biggest reasons why Duke is the best defensive team in the country, because Duke, even if they give up a drive, he's right there to defend. I think there's a couple things that you can do, at least on offense, right? What you can do, you can have a guy like Tobe with his strength and girth try to seal off Malawach. Right.
Yes.
So when guys like Jaden and guys like Caleb are driving with their right, Tobe can hopefully try to seal as much as he can. But again, you just got to attack and try to draw some fouls.
Now, what do you think about this? Instead of the Jordan rules, we let Iman bang with the Flagg rules. You bring Iman in and just say, go at him, do whatever you need to. Let the ends justifies the means here.
Yeah, be the enforcer. Yes. I think at the end, or towards the end of that, the first half of the Oregon game, and both Tobe and Vasar had 2 fouls. If I were Tommy, I would have put Iman in and just let him go to work. We'll see I don't know if Tommy trusts him enough to do it, but it could happen. You never know. It could happen.
Right. All right. Now, let's talk about the girth that Tobe Awaka brings. I'll be honest. I was a little surprised. I didn't see him being able to dominate Nate Biddle the way that he did, especially in that first half. I mean, Tobe was the one that kept us in the game, and it's Tobe, not Toby. Tobe was the one that kept us in the game, and he did that by pushing his girth out and making Nate Biddle, he's stronger than Nate Biddle. Nate Biddle wasn't going to back him down. It's going to be, I think, a little bit more of a difficult challenge in this game, but you got to be physical with it, Matt. Yeah, I mean, that's why Tobe's in there. You got to be physical.
You have to. I think you got to go at Malawach right away. You have to impose your physicality, which is exactly what Tobe did against Biddle. Biddle was not expecting that. And right. Biddle is certainly a more finesse player, but he was uncomfortable when Tobe was on him. The girth was too much for Biddle. Yes. Malawach, he's what, 250? It's going to be a little harder to move him around, but still, Mike, actually, this kind of segues into the related question. Do you think that it matters that Duke's most important players are freshmen and they're 18? And do you think that lack of tournament experience will matter compared to Arizona's?
And Matt, this is why you're a natural, because also, let me ask you this. Does it also matter to you that they haven't, does it matter to you? Get it, Matt Rain? All right, yes. But does it also matter as well that they played like one good team in 2 months? I mean, you got a lot of inexperience in the tournament. They played one good team basically in 2 months. Arizona has, if you're looking for advantages here, and again, I mean, we're not stupid. We know Duke has a better basketball roster, but if Arizona does have some advantages, and it does start with experience. You've got a lot of guys that have been here before, that have been in big spots, whereas a lot of these freshmen, now again, Proctor's been there, I get all that, but Flagg, Malawach, Knipple, they haven't been there yet. So, I mean, maybe there is something to that.
I think it matters, and look, we could be wrong, and Duke is going to roll by 20. They're going to roll like UConn did last year to the championship game, but this team has not been seriously challenged in a basketball game since December 4th.
Right.
That matters. It does. I know, like, Duke fans want to say it doesn't, and they say, well, you're penalizing us for winning by 30. No, that's awesome. You have a great team, best team in college basketball. But when it comes down to it, if Arizona can stay in this game, they get to the last 5 minutes. Arizona battled with Iowa State, Houston, Texas Tech down to the wire and won some of those games. Duke, not really. Now, at least in the conference season.
Now, Mr. Tyler Warden, we are their second best opponent of the season and best one they've faced since December 4th. Auburn at home. All right. Yeah, I like that. That's why follow Mr. Tyler Warden on Twitter. Very good follow, by the way. So that's, what it reminds me a little bit of, Matt? It reminds me a little bit of Arizona. Again, it's different degrees, but it reminds me a little bit of Arizona playing in the Pac-12 all these years, where you just cruise through and you're playing bum team after bum team after bum team. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know if Arizona was in the Pac-12 this year if they come back and beat Oregon. Now, granted, I know Oregon was in the Pac-12 as well. I get it. But Arizona's got a little bit of a resolve, a little bit of gumption that I don't know that it necessarily that had. And I don't know that you can necessarily have that until you're in those situations. Now, Duke is awesome. There's no doubt about it. But Duke at the same point, though, I still think there is something to that, though, Matt. I really do.
I think so, too. And I think everyone's assuming Duke is going to roll in this game because look, I don't care that they beat the Miamis of the world by 30 points and their KenPom rating is number 1 because of it. And again, they're a very good team, best team in America, but Arizona is battle tested. Think about that Cincinnati game, Mike. Remember when we gave up like a 20-point lead, 22-point lead against Cincinnati? I almost tore my hair out. But those kinds of experiences and then battling with teams like Tech and Houston and the Big 12, Baylor, etc. Those matter a lot more than beating up on, little sisters of the poor of the ACC. It just matters. Maybe it won't really fully matter right now, but I think it does. I really do.
All right, now, what about the cheating? That is a great point. There is going to be so much cheating. I think that with Duke, you got to go in there with basically a 7-point cheating advantage. There's going to be so many. There's going to be so much cheating. I agree. Cheating is a massive underrated part of this, and it's something that we probably haven't paid enough attention to. Cheating is huge. All right, now I want to talk about Henry here in a second, but also time to pay a few more bills, though. Matt Rain, time to pay a few more bills. Cody, are you there? Cody. All right, Bridge Tech Communications. All right, now, I was up in SRS, smelly, rainy Seattle, and guess what? I couldn't find a gym anywhere, and guess why? I had to go look in Google to find one, the Google, and guess what? It's because they don't use Bridge Tech Communications. I'm sure of it. Bridge Tech Communications they help you get your gym out there and into the public. Health, wellness spas, and, hey, Matt, 750% average ROI. That's good, my friend. That is good.
I think that's pretty good. That's some great ROI.
Yes, that is. Yeah, bridgetechcommunications.com. Check it out. If you got a gym or a wellness spa or anything, you want to get in there and you want to be able to, again, you don't have to have Mike Luke Googling to find your gym. Check it out. Tony is the man. We very much appreciate Tony. Bridgetechcommunications.com. All right, now what else we got? Let's go give it to you. He gon' give it to you. Let's go give it to you. He gon' give it to you. Comfort X HVAC, my friend. Now, Matt Rain, you are in, where are you, in Washington, D.C.?
Washington, D.C.
All right, well, yeah, I don't know that you necessarily need an AC there right now.
I will soon, though, in the summer, for sure.
Humid there, doesn't it?
It gets very humid, very hot in the summer, so AC is a must, as it is in Arizona.
Yes, but you've lived in Tucson before, and you know the value of having a solid HVAC unit. This is true.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Very true.
Yes, very true. Comfort X HVAC. Now, use code Wildcats for 10% off. Our good friend Anthony Chimino used them, and he saved $2,000, and he said they were very good. Have them save you money, and they're also very cool in the process. Small business with big savings. Look at Anthony Chimino. This man has never been happier in his life. Check it out, Comfort X HVAC. All right, we got some questions for Matt. Matt, you making the 4.5-hour drive tomorrow?
I'm not making the drive tomorrow. If we win, I will be. And I'll be there at the Elite Eight game. But related to that, this is a message for everyone in the chat who's going to the game tomorrow. Mm-hmm. I was at Cameron Indoor Stadium when Arizona played there. We won. I was not impressed by Duke fans. Let me tell you that. Okay. These people, I'm sure they love their school. First of all, a lot of them didn't go there.
Yes.
They don't have the same kind of passion and care for their team and university like we do. So you got to go there and be 10 times as loud as those New York or Duke fans who are probably just going so they can post on their Instagram stories about how cool it is they went to a Duke game. So show up, be loud. I know you all will be. But
you know what they're going to do? You know what they're going to do? They're going to go there and they're going to take pictures of they're going to film the entire game while they're there instead of watching the game. Exactly. So again, don't let them out Instagram like you, everybody. Get out there, Arizona fans. Get out there, my friends.
Absolutely.
Okay. Henry Vasar. Henry's got to play better in this game. Period. Point blank. He's just got to. It's weird. You can generally tell very early on, and Henry's been a great revelation. So again, shrink, Kobe, as the kids would say. Yes, shrink. But Henry's been a revelation. So again, with Henry, I feel like we're kind of playing with house money to a certain extent, but we know what Henry can do. And Henry's really, really good basketball player. You can also tell generally early on if there's going to be a Henry game or not. And it just like that Oregon game, something just fell off with Henry.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know what it is. It's happened multiple times throughout the year where he just looks like more lethargic.
Yes.
So, and I never want to speculate on, what someone is going through, whatever. Right. I mean, we don't know. Right. But right. You got to hope. And he has to be on for Arizona to to have a chance in this game. On the defensive end, he has to be active and use his length. And then on the offensive end, he has to provide pick and pop options. He needs to make a couple big threes. He needs to be able to drive into the lane. And, he's big. He's our only guy who's the same height as Malawach. He has, a few less pounds on him, but he's absolutely crucial.
Yeah, he's going to be huge. And again, another guy, you got to stay out of foul trouble. No stupid fouls. And if you, but again, I don't need him to be UCLA Henry, but I need him to be a force out there, and I need him to block shots. He's really the only guy on the team outside of Carter that can alter shots, that can make things more difficult for him. Yeah, Mr. Tyler Warden. Again, man, we're reading Mr. Tyler Warden's stuff like crazy. Henry is a confidence big. When he gets in a rhythm earlier, he plays big. When he gets pushed around early, you need to set him up offensively. I agree with that. He, you got to get him going early when he gets into the game.
Absolutely.
Period, point blank.
You have to. And then I think, we'll see what the rotation is like for Tommy, right? I mean, whether he plays how many minutes he plays Tobe and Vasar together, or whether he plays Carter and Vasar. And I think it'll be an interesting kind of battle between, limiting fouls, getting guys the rest that they need, and also allowing for the best possible lineup.
What's the best, Matt? What's the best lineup in this game for you?
Well, analytically, and what I think is the best lineup.
Yeah, what does Matt Rain? Forget the analytics. What does Matt Rain think?
Well, it's JB, it's KJ, it's Caleb, it's Carter, it's Henry.
Yeah, agree.
And it's look, I love having Tobe out there, and he's an amazing. But like when you have that lineup, you have flexibility on offense, you have flexibility on defense. Mike, the one thing I'm concerned about with that lineup, or I guess any Arizona lineup, and I want your thoughts on this too, is our pick and roll defense against Duke, and are we switching? Are we hedging? They killed us that first game, and they are so good at getting Cooper Flagg on the ball and having Malawach screen or Knippel screen. It's tough to guard.
And Malawach is the perfect diver as well in those situations as well, because he can also catch the ball. I'm terrified. Honestly, Matt, I'm terrified about our pick and roll defense and the 3-point defense. That to me is the game. Now listen, Arizona's a lot better than it was earlier in the season. We all know that. But I still think about that Shire quote from earlier in the season when they got him on the hot mic, and he says, just keep moving the ball, keep doing our thing. We're going to get a wide open shot. And they did get a wide open shot pretty much every time. The pick and roll defense, I don't believe in this situation you can go under. I don't. I liked when Tommy started to hedge a little bit later in the season. But yes, I don't believe that you can, because if you go under, the other problem too is none of these guys are small people. They're all 6'6", 6'7", 6'9". So if you go under them, they're going to raise up for a completely uncontested shot. I think that you have to try to make their life difficult. And if they beat you that way, but I can't have the pick and roll where they just beat you to death every single time down the court.
And there were 3 or 4 times or 5 times during that first game where we went under on screens, and Proctor made a 3, Knippel made a 3. I remember late in that game, Knippel hit 2 threes in a row where we went under on screens. It just can't happen. And I think, we said it on Twitter, and Tyler's right there in the chat. Try a blitz, right? I mean, just trying different things, being aggressive. You cannot let Duke, they're going to be in a rhythm at some point in the game, but you got to knock them off the rhythm as much as possible, because if you allow them, you're just passive and you're like, okay, we got to play prevent defense. Yeah. It's like when in college football, when you play prevent defense and you just let the team like run down the field and try to get a field. No, be aggressive. Try to prevent that from happening. We don't like prevent defense here.
No, we don't like that. You know what we like, though? We like, a $20 super snap. We love super snap. Vegas Falcon. More minutes for Carter, agree. And Matt Rain for president. What do you have to be? You have to be 35 to run for president, Matt, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what is your, I was going to say, so you got
Mike, how old do you think I am? Let's start there.
You're 28.
There you go. Well, 27.
27. All right. So you got a little bit of time. You run for Senate in 2 years and then, work your way up from there. Yeah, I got you. All right. Now let's talk though about, thank you for the super snap. But no, the 3-point defense, man, I don't love the 3-point defense. I'll put it to you like that. But Arizona also, when Arizona loses games this year, there's generally been one of 2 things, Matt, that they've done, is that they turn the ball over. You can't have the dumb turnovers. You can't have the pick 6 turnovers where you just hand them and it goes the other way, because they will dunk that and they will take the ball from you. You can't have that. And on top of that, you just leave guys wide open for threes. Let's try not to let both of those happen. And then I think that Arizona might be in a better spot.
I think so too. Sometimes we can get lazy with the ball on offense. I don't think that'll happen today, but man, even against Oregon, ADO got stripped a couple times, and I was like, man, you got to be strong with the ball. It happened, and again, when I was watching the Duke game, the highlights, ADO got stripped. Cannot happen. Caleb Love, you got to be strong with the ball because they will make you pay. And then, Mike, if we have another moment like the KJ tech dunk or the double dunk, I will lose my mind. Like that I don't know what your reaction to that was, but I was beside myself, man.
KJ said he didn't know that was a rule, which I don't know if I find that better or worse that he didn't know that it was a rule. Here's where I'm at with KJ. KJ is a winning basketball player. There's going to be 2 or 3 plays per game with KJ where you're going to say, what in the heck were you just doing there? There's going to be 2 or 3 of those plays that just it used to really annoy me, but then I just came to realize that, you know what? It's going to be something like you're going to dribble, he's going to dribble it off his foot, like trying to cross somebody up or fouling a 3-point shooter. There's going to be something out there. And you know what? You just got to kind of live with it because he does a lot of really, really good stuff. Now, Kobe L. Thiel. I'm sorry, Mike. I'm letting Flagg shoot threes. He's a decent shooter, but not great. He's going to get his, and I'd rather hit him 2 or 3s than get 5 offensive rebounds. But I don't know that I'm necessarily disagreeing, but I'm saying I don't want everybody to be shooting wide open 3s for Duke. That is my concern, Matt.
Yeah, and maybe on Cooper, which I think Arizona did in the first game, you try to go under to start the game. And look, if he's on fire, you maybe change up the defensive strategy. Someone said, maybe Kobe said earlier, maybe Trey goes on Knippel. That was a matchup that Tommy went to in the first game, and probably Trey would have to guard Knippel. I think that's probably his facsimile. In terms of who he can defend. But either way, you just gotta on Cooper, you gotta do your best and hope the other guys, let him get his, hope the other guys don't beat you and go from there.
That's kind of where I'm at with that. Now I wanted to take a little bit of a peek around the Big 12 here. I like being in the Big 12, feel a connection with these fan bases. These fan bases are awesome. You've got Houston and Purdue. We need Houston to win that game, Matt Rain.
We do. There's no excuses for Houston not to win that game. Purdue, I'm sorry if any Purdue fans are out there that see this. It's not a great team. It really isn't. Like Braden Smith, he's great. He's got the lumberjack beard. Good for you, man. They got the big guy. But
Houston, I think that's just a bad matchup. I think Houston's just a bad matchup for him because Houston's the epitome of the team that just comes up and takes the ball from you and then goes the other way. And they're just good all the way around. Kelvin Sampson's a total boss. Yeah. There's really no other way around it. Now, Texas Tech. I have Texas Tech in the national championship game. Now, you might say, Mike Luke, you're an idiot. Well, I am. But Texas Tech, though, against who is Texas? Oh, yeah, Arkansas. That's an interesting game, though. That's a very interesting game, Mr. Rain.
Very interesting game. I also have Texas Tech in the national championship game, Mike Luke. So maybe we're both stupid. Who knows?
Nice.
Which we probably are. I think against Arkansas, Tech is the more talented team. But there is something to be said for Arkansas and the momentum and the freeness they're playing with under Cal. And I remember there was a quote that Cal gave prior to the tournament starting, and he told his guys, said this in an interview, he said, look, this is where you guys can get your shine because we haven't been respected all year. We've been inconsistent, but now we can show them who we really are. I think it'll be a close game. I still like Tech to pull it through. They have the guys to do it. JT Toppin is a beast. He really is.
You know what's funny about it? Like, I think Arizona fans don't realize that sometimes guys from the mid-major portal can actually be really good. Now, I know that everyone's like, what about ADO or what about Trey Townsend? But look at Texas Tech. JT Toppin was the Big 12 player of the year. He's from New Mexico. He is good. Darian Williams, where's he from? Like Nevada or something?
Yes, I think some Mountain West school.
Chance McMillan also. He was from GCU. I mean, they've got an entire roster of guys. So it's about getting the right ones. Now, sometimes you're not going to hit it, but Matt, there's many good mid-majors out there. This is true.
There are, Mike. I think you got to focus on guys who look the part, and obviously, like someone's vitals and how tall they are, how big they are is not the end all be all. But the difference between a guy, guys like ADO and Trey, who are frankly undersized for the high major D1 level, and a guy like McMillan and a guy like Toppin. Like McMillan and Toppin look the part. They are positionally,
yes, very much
their
true.
Size.
Keyshawn Johnson looked the part.
Yep. No, literally, exactly. And like the mid-major guys who are like that and can compete, can bang against the other Big 12 opponents, get those guys. Like I wouldn't, I know we're going to speak a little bit about portal and recruiting. I wouldn't mind certainly ADO coming back next year. I think there's a role for him. But I think Tommy's got to have a little bit of a different approach trying to get portal guys.
All right, now Javier laid out what he expects as an Arizona fan. This was about a week ago. And Javier, if I'm misquoting you, I'm not. But if I am misquoting you, feel free to tell. Javier said at Arizona he expects a national championship once every 4 to 5 years. Otherwise, the coach needs to be out. So basically, Danny Hurley would have been fired at UConn. Mike Krzyzewski wouldn't have lasted. Roy Williams never would have hacked it at Kansas. Didn't win a championship in 15 years there. What do you think about Javier laying down the gauntlet that you have to win a title once every 4 to 5 years at Arizona?
That's bananas. That's bananas. I don't.
We like you, Javier. Javier is actually going to be on in this second to next fan segment because Javier doesn't like Tommy Lloyd at all. And he believes that Arizona could do much better. I disagree with Javier.
Yeah, so that's I think that's a take that a lot of people don't have, but I respect the hot take for sure. But I mean, Arizona. Prim on Twitter talks about this. It's the standard, right? There is a certain standard of Arizona basketball that you want to meet. One national championship every 4 years is a bit much. But look, what Tommy has done, I think, has been fantastic. Arizona's been a top 4 seed every single year he's been here. They've competed. They've made 3 Sweet 16s in 4 years. And like as he said last year after the loss of Clemson, as frustrating as it was, but he said, look, Arizona will have its time in the sun, and we will.
All right, now, Javier, I knew I was quoting you right. Yes, Mike, new time. So you want to give Lloyd 20 years to do what? Win one title? Being that Lute Olson was here for 23 years and won one title, I mean, if I were to tell you that you would take Lute Olson's success again, yes, Javier, yes. Boom. Period. Point blank. All right. I want to get Javier's takes are the GOAT. All right. I want to get into a little bit of recruiting, and then we are going to get to our predictions. But first, got to pay a few more bills here. What do you got, Cody? What do you got? Oh, Aris Dental. Now, Matt, we're not of the age where you need dental implants yet. But guess what? There are some people out there that need them. And guess what? If they want to spend under $2,000, generally they've got to go to like Myanmar or like Burundi or something. And who knows what the OSHA standards are there or whatever. At Aris Dental, though, my friends, you can get the championship package. $19.97. Get it?
I do get it. It was the championship package.
Very good. It's the championship package. Again, my nickname in high school, championship package. But either way, daily urgent care. And again, TucsonTeeth.com, TucsonImplants.com. Check it out. Again, all kinds of good stuff. And if you go in there, they offer only necessary treatment. Matt, if you want to keep your tongue, they're going to let you keep your tongue when you go in there. They're not going to take it off and then like remove it and say they got to scale your gums to put your tongue back in. None of that stuff.
That's good. Yeah, I don't want that. Yeah, I mean, I think it's you can go anywhere else, but look, right there in Tucson, owned by local. What more can you ask for? Good price.
Land the man with the master plan. We like Lan Allen. Check it out. Aris Dental, my friends. Aris Dental. Okay, now what else do we got here, Cody? Come on. All right, Michael Rubin. Now, you might say to yourself, I'm looking to buy, sell, or refinance right now. Michael Rubin can help you with that. Now, he's local to Tucson, lifelong Wildcat. Oh, and he can help you with debt consolidation. Also, here's a very good deal. $500 off closing costs. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. I know things I can do with $500. Yes. Michael Rubin, Rubin Group, Swift Mortgage. Again, use code Judd Bushler and that QR code in the corner right there. Scan it. You will thank me later. Scan it. Boom, boom, boom. All right. Now I think we got one more. What do we got, Cody? What do we got? RJ's Frozen Cactus. All right, everybody. I don't think there's going to be a watch party tomorrow because I have to actually. Here's the thing. It's such a big game that I don't end up watching a lot of the game when there's a watch party. So I gotta watch this one. But RJ's Frozen Cactus, 100 craft beers, $2 deals. They're going to be having more stuff there. No bad seats in the house. Pre-game at RJ's, they got a huge parking lot that you can literally land a jet in if you're looking to, park your jet for the night and have a couple cold ones. But either way, no bad seats in the house. 100 craft beers, pizza, wings, tacos. Very good stuff. Very, very good stuff. Okay, now, yes, it's huge. Wilbur's Big Burner can confirm. Now, we got a super snap. $10 from Vegas Falcon. Every team entering the tournament has a 1.47 chance of winning it all. Take that, Javier. Okay. All right. Now, Matt, let's talk a little bit about recruiting and Tommy Lloyd vis-a-vis the portal, vis-a-vis domestic recruiting. Tommy clearly is more of a portal guy, I think, at this point. I think that's fair to say. You look at it, and he doesn't offer a ton of kids. He says that it's a privilege to be offered by Arizona. What do you think about that of offering a school like Arizona offering a very select group of kids?
So I think first, he's right in the sense that freshman recruiting is a lot less important than it was pre-portal, right? You don't need to recruit 4 or 5 18-year-olds anymore when you can pluck 4 to 5, 21, 22-year-olds who have college experience from other mid-majors or other high D1 programs. But that being said, you got to get some key freshman talent every year. You absolutely have to. And when you look at the success, like if Duke, like let's say they only get, Knipple and Flagg, or they only get Malawach and Knipple, like they needed those 3 guys on their team. And that's why they're the number 1 team in the country, because they have 3 top 10 freshman lottery picks. So to be successful, you got to get some guys, and you can't just rely on portal guys, right?
We're right. I mean, and again, we like Tommy, but I'm going to critique Tommy here. I believe that when you look at his domestic high school recruiting, and I guess you could throw, internationals in there as well, I think you got to have a couple each year, or at least one. I mean, you look at it, you had one in KJ last year. You had one in Carter this year. Previous year, you had Boswell. Do that with that way as you will. Henry Vasar has become a contributor, but I think that I'm fine with 70% portal. But I think you've got to have 20 to 30% where they're guys that are, you can either grow with like a KJ or a Carter or something like that, or that are just next level players like a Braden Burry that come in and they're just next level. I think you've got to have a little bit of a better mixture. But I will say this, Tommy Lloyd in the portal kills it. You look at it overall, Umar Ballo, Pello Larson, Keyshawn Johnson, Caleb Love, Jaden Bradley, Tobe Awaka. I can keep going. He's done a really good job there, but I'd like to see a little bit better high school recruiting.
No, me too. I think part of the philosophy, Mike, is it's really frustrating. And obviously every program is figuring this out right now. You recruit a guy as a freshman and you spend all those hours and everything recruiting him, getting him to school, spending the NIL money, whatever it is. And then they leave for another program and you develop them and then they're gone. So I understand the guys that you want to just get, top 25, top 30 guys. But at the end of the day, you also want guys who are in your program for multiple years, and that helps build culture. And one thing, Tom, you guys talked about it on the show yesterday, you and Sheer, where Tommy will not take guys from, bad families or if they have attitude problems. And I think that's part of it too, Mike. He wants to be really picky. What do you think about that? Do you sacrifice some of the pickiness?
Yeah, I do. I do, because here's where I'm at with this. I don't believe in offering 2 kids per class. I believe that you can find 8 to 9 to 10 kids and that check out that are good enough. I also, and again, we'll go over this, but if you turn down Elijah Arenas, for example, who's a top 5 player in the country because you prefer Braden Burries, fine. You have to get Braden Burries then.
You have to.
You can't, there's no excuses. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Now, again, that doesn't mean that I would fire Tommy if he doesn't get Braden Burries, but I do believe that you've got to overhaul your recruiting strategy to a certain degree when it comes to high school players. And again, also because if you're also not recruiting those 2 because you don't think they're going to play together, but they both end up at SC, you got to figure out exactly what's going on there as well. But that's where I'm at. I believe that he makes his job a little bit more difficult at times than it needs to be. Again, find 8, 10 kids. There's easily 8 to 10 kids there that can fit into your program that you can build with, that will check out. Again, I'm not asking to bring in Mikey Williams or whatever. That's a shout out for you, Javier. I think you wanted him, or Joseph. Maybe that's him. But at the end of the day, I think you got to offer more kids. Period. I just think you do.
I think so too. And I know. Look, maybe it's part of it where he doesn't want to get in a situation where he offers someone and he has to back out of the offer. And, it's possible that's happened before and he doesn't want it to happen again, but it's a business, man. I mean, it just is. And sometimes you just have to do what's best for the program. And I agree. You can still find 8 to 10 kids who fit that mold and fit that profile along with the portal guys. You got to be able to do both. But you're right. It seems weird to me if again, I don't know the whole details, but if Elijah Arenas was ready to commit.
Yeah. You got to get him. You got to get him. Yep. All right. Now, it is time for our predictions right here. It is time for our predictions. Now, get all your money out because, again, as you know, I mean, you're looking at two guys right here that clearly are rolling in millions from their sports bets. Yes. What do you got, Matt Rain? What do you got?
Well, I'm going to give you a classic sheer hedge.
All right.
My brain is telling me, and it's similar to what you guys have talked about, Duke is the better team. We know that. I think Arizona will cover the spread, but realistically, I have Duke winning, 74-69. My heart tells me that Arizona is going to win 76-75 in overtime. That is my official prediction. We're going with that.
All right, you know what? I'm going with my heart as well. I do believe Duke is the best team in the country. I believe they have easily the fewest question marks, but you know what? I don't have to go with my mind. I am going with my heart. I am going Arizona 75, Duke 67. They have a slow game. Yes. Wilbur's Big Burner. Mike, you back the A. You can't back out now. I'm not backing out now. I just picked U of A, baby. Boom, boom, boom. All right, Matt. Matt doesn't know. Well, he does know this now. You're going to start being a regular on the show because, well, first of all, you're very smart, and I want to always tether myself to smart people. Second of all, you're the man, Matt. Appreciate you, dude.
You're the man, Mike. And I don't. For people who don't know, Mike and I have known each other for what? I mean, 7 years,
8 years
now.
Yeah,
and
sure. I was in grad school when Matt was a wee undergrad. Yes,
a wee sophomore.
Yes,
the Stone Avenue Standard with Mozzie Lee and Ben One White.
Yeah, I was going to say Fast Times at Ridgemont High, baby. Yes. All right, so we're both going Arizona. We are backing the A. So on that note, though, Matt Rain, you're the man. We'll definitely have you on again here shortly. For everybody in the comments, you guys are great. Appreciate the super snaps. Cody James Martin, we'll be back with you tomorrow. TTFN, ta-ta for now.